Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down to bite-sized pieces. Today, we've got some pretty interesting stories, and not just interesting stories, but the market is going insane and not in the good way. First up, I got the Brave browser, and it's awesome. Second, we're going to take a look at the actual cryptocurrency and digital asset market just to see how much it is falling. And we're going to take a look at something that's happening locally for me, which will really illustrate the point of just how crazy things are getting. Also, Bitcoin's price crashed to 6,000. This was, like 6 or 7 hours ago, this article, because right now it's sitting at around $4,500, $4,700. But this article says that Bitcoin's price crashed to $6,000, influenced by one whale miner, say reports. And trading legend Peter Brandt called worst Bitcoin price crash since 2013. So essentially, Peter Brandt predicted this exact price point of what's happening right now all the way back in 2013. And at first when I read this, I'm like, there's no way. But when I dug into it, sure enough, he sure did. And also, coming from Yahoo Finance, the Fed announces over 1 trillion liquidity operation as bond market churns. Essentially, they're going to do what's called quack economics, or quantitative easing. And Binance CEO responds to ChainLink futures crashing over 99.9%. So some lucky person who put in a buy order for a fraction of a penny got ChainLink. And finally, we're going to go over the scam of the day at the very end. But we'll do that at the finality of this video. Let's jump right in. So first up, if you don't have the Brave browser, you really should get it. It's awesome. It blocks ads. You can, roll around. I mean, it even tells you, like, for every tab that you open up. First of all, beautiful pictures, real nice. And it'll tell you, like, how many ads and trackers that were blocked, the upgrades, and the estimated time saved. So this is my first day with this, and I gotta tell you, I love it so far. So some websites won't work perfectly because you are blocking certain code to stop ads or tracks. So, some won't work right, and you'll have to actually turn on the ads to see if you want to see it at like the full maximum capacity of a website. But for the majority, I haven't had many issues so far. You can turn on the ads. I don't turn them on because I don't really want to right now. I guess if you want to get paid, you can do that, but that's not my goal. Excuse me. My goal is to use the Brave browser, save time, and not have so many damn ads pop up. So that's it. So let's jump into the market. So it is late right now. It is my local time. It's almost 9 o'clock p.m. I am in Texas. And, well, first of all, I want to show you this. This is pretty cool. The Brave browser actually blocks different things that these websites will automatically try to install in, and kind of slows everything down. So I'm going to block that. We'll see how that works out. But real quick, Bitcoin, 40% in one day. One day. I went to the gym, and it was around about 6,000 or something like that. I walked out. It was like 4,500. Now we're around 47. Let's refresh this and see what's going on. Yeah, 46.83. So a little bit more. So here's what I see. Everything is down. I mean, majorly, huge down. Let me see who the biggest loser is. Oh, wow, multi-collateral. Binance USD is up. Tether's up. Not surprising. Everybody sold out. Or people sold out and put it in a Tether. That's interesting. Not interesting. I think people knew what was going to happen. Here's the biggest losers. Maker, Ren, Synthetics, Chili's, Ravencoin, 50%. It really doesn't matter. Everybody's losing. Everybody's lost their shirt primarily, for the most part, unless some people have gotten out. I took a little bit out, not much, but in all honesty, it is just a panic. It is a panic going on, and I can just tell you, like, when I see these things, I mean, we can hypothesize, like, oh, there's like this next article we're going to go over about this whale influencing, and that's what it is, or something else, or whatever else. But I can tell you, I can only tell you what I see with my own eyes. And I can tell you that I had to stop at the grocery store after the gym, and this is what I saw. So first of all, I'm not in a small city. I'm in Houston. It's a pretty large city in Texas. It's very big. And you go to, this is just one of the shelves, and usually everything is stocked to the brim. And this is just, eggs and milk department, essentially. It's all gone. It's all gone. And like, it was just there this afternoon because I was just there. Then we take a look at this one. All the toilet paper, gone. And this was the line to check out to actually get and pay for things, and the line went out the door. So here's the thing: if you're not from America and you've been living under a rock, there's this beer virus going on, COVID-10 or whatever it's called, the C virus. Apparently, you're not supposed to say it because it's so stupid. Because YouTube might I don't care. It's called the coronavirus, obviously, right? That's what I'm talking about. Who cares? It's the coronavirus, and that's what's on the lips and the thoughts of everybody. And if you're in Italy, I feel sorry for you, for everybody there, because that whole country essentially is on lockdown. China was hit first. There's a large amount of deaths because of the at-risk population. Mostly it looks like it's affecting the people who are advanced in age. 50, depending on who you talk to, 55 and above, 16 above, with other comorbidities. If you're looking at somebody who has any kind of like COPD, smokers, diabetes, congestive heart failure, those types of patients. So, and these are the ones that are hit hard and have unfortunately passed away. So it's been spreading pretty quickly. It has a high mortality rate. Now, the flu virus has a 0.1 mortality rate. We all know what the flu is, right? However, with the coronavirus, it is 10 times that, which when you hear 10 times, you think, holy smokes, that sounds dangerous, but it's like 1% to 2%, depending on where you're at, right? In Italy, I think it's around 3.4%. In America, it's a little bit lower, but looking at it globally, they're talking about 1% to 2% mortality rate. So when we hear about these things, to me, I'm like, well, it's not like it is a natural disaster, right? Like we're going to be, not having to get a pipeline in, but this is what's going on. And people are losing their minds because they're thinking that they're going to be quarantined, that the supply routes are going to be cut off altogether, and they're trying to protect their families, and they just lose their minds. And I think you take a look at that, and then I look at the actual market cap, and I'm like, holy smokes, this is the same type of thing. I don't care if it's one whale. One whale can't drop the market 50%. I don't know if that's ever been done in history. Well, for the cryptocurrency market, I know like today was like one of the biggest drops since like 2012, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure someone's going to tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tells me I'm wrong every time in the comment section. But I just think that people are just getting a little bit crazy about what's happening. Nothing has changed essentially for Bitcoin. Bitcoin hasn't been hacked. There are no problems with Bitcoin. All the miners haven't shut down. Ethereum, no one's come out and said, hey, we're just scamming you guys. We're taking all your money. There's fundamentally nothing has changed. What's happening is people are taking their money out because they're scared, and they're using what they consider a store of value, which is cash. And right now, and you may laugh at this phrase, but it's the honest truth. Cash is king right now. If you can't go, I can't go to the store and buy these items like toilet paper with Bitcoin. It's not happening. I mean, you can use your cryptocurrency card, I suppose. This is all theory, but still, cash is king right now because people are insane. So for me, like when I look at these types of things, do I think it's going to go lower? Yeah, I do. I think over the next 2 weeks to a month, we're going to see an even bigger fall of what's going to happen. However, in the long term, it's not going to affect the actual fundamentals of what is happening here behind the scenes. These are still great projects. These are still things that are going to change the world, I believe. But right now, people are panicking. And I will just say this: if you need cash, if you are in a city that is quarantined, I would not be dumping my money into cryptocurrency because it is not a store of value for you. You need, well, I don't know exactly what you need, but if it was me quarantined in a city and I needed supplies for my family, it would be cash or yuan or whatever the heck is, wherever you're at. So we will see what happens. I believe it's going to go lower, and everybody just brace yourself because this is unprecedented. This will be one of those times that we will talk about for years to come after everything recovers. And you have to remember, this virus, I did not see it going and ripping through the world and decimating the population. Again, mortality rate is between 1% and 2%, 3.4%, depending on where you're at. We've had people in Texas who were already infected with the coronavirus. I mean, it's very low. It's like less than 100 people, and people, for the majority, have already recovered. They say it's like having. Some people say it's like having a mild flu. Some people say it's like having a real pain in the ass flu. But they seem to recover, and we will see what happens. Moving on. Oh, actually, before we move on, let me ask you this. What do you think? What are your price predictions? What are you doing to protect yourself? What do you think is going to happen? That will be the interesting conversation in the comments. Leave it below, and I'd love to hear it. Let's move on. Next up, this was the article. Bitcoin's price crash to $6,000, influenced by one whale miner, a report. This is just speculation, just like the whole market. According to Chain News, crypto news outlet, the recent fall in Bitcoin's price to sub 6,000 level could be caused by one huge Bitcoin whale miner. Just before the crash, a whale miner transferred over 1,000 Bitcoin, which is a measly $8 million on March. I mean, measly for the whole market, right? On March 11th, to over 55 exchanges, including Coinbase, Kraken, OKX, and Binance. The report reads, these 28 addresses had Bitcoin mined from August to October 2010. These are one of the earliest wallets out there. And most of the 1,000 Bitcoins were never touched after being mined in 2010. Chain.info said, within hours of bringing together 1,000 Bitcoin transactions, Bitcoin fell from 8,000 to around 7,500, which may be due to the 1,000 Bitcoins. Sure, I suppose. My question is, if you had mined those back in 2010, why didn't you sell at least partial in the run of 2017? Maybe these are things that just were lost and then were all, suddenly found, or they use an online service to get it back into their cold wallet. I have no idea, but it doesn't make much sense that this would happen right now from an old wallet. But it is a nonsensical type of market. So anyhow. In other news, the crash in Bitcoin's price is causing lags in the system, with the latest information showing miners getting affected. BTC.com, one of the top mining pools of Bitcoin, has seen a lag of over 48 minutes on Thursday as prices crumbled to 11-month lows. BTC.com failed to produce a single Bitcoin block over the bloodshed hour on March 12th. A single block over the hour, with the latest or the last recorded block at a height of 621,342. Again, no block's been produced in 40 minutes. Guess how many bosses just filled the minute to shut down, or is it just a coincidence? That is a very interesting topic. So, for those who are miners, I have a question for you. If you have the whole network, or not the whole network, a very large mining pool, not able to mine for close to an hour, what the heck is going on there? And will we see more of these things happen as time goes on if the price crumbles down to $3,000, $2,000? Let me know what you got. I'd love to hear that. Moving on. Next up, trading legend Peter Brandt called worst Bitcoin price crash since 2013. I don't get into TA too much, but I will tell you one thing. This guy, Peter Brandt, every time I hear about him, he's been right. So, of course, there's going to be someone who's like, no, that Peter Brandt's a moron. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's wrong. Da, 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 da. Sure. Well, let's take a look at what he has been right at. So, Bitcoin's 25% flash crash that sends price back to the 5,500 level was linked to the coronavirus, the ultimate black swan event that sent all global markets into a death spiral. However, Peter Brandt, a commodity trader with decades of experience, called this price drop long before the advent of the pandemic. And then this is from InterX. It said, did anyone listen when Peter Brandt said 5,500 might be the bottom? And then Peter says, come on, you know better. Nobody listens to anything I say, which is kind of weird because he's been right a lot. Moving on, in September 2019, the legendary trader predicted that Bitcoin could bottom out at 5,500 in February 2020 before starting a new parabolic run. This means that he was just 1 month shy of his initial forecast. Let's take a look at, here's the link to the actual article when he said that. Trading legend Peter Brandt expects Bitcoin price to begin bull move to 50 grand to reach a new bottom. This was in September 30th. And moving forward, he says, he says, hey, just a wild guess, but I think Bitcoin bottoms at 5,500 next February. Man, that's crazy. Then begins a bull move to 50,000. Let's take a look at his other call, which this was all the way back December 19th, 2018. And it reads, the world's largest cryptocurrency by market cap has cratered nearly 84% since its meteoric rise, topped at an all-time high of 19.8 in December 2017. Remember, this was at the peak of the 2017 bull run. So just, we're looking at just 1 year later when this was written. And Peter here, who posted this on January 22nd, 2018, which was just a little bit above when everything started to come crashing down. He says, general TA rule, violation of parabolic advance leads to an 80% plus decline in value. If general was followed, Bitcoin should retrace to less than 4,000. And it did. And it went to $3,300. Nope, this tweet does not make me a hater. And everybody hates on Peter because he is always calling the right stuff. And usually it's in the negative. So this is just interesting. We've had a lot of different TA people say this and that. But I got to tell you, Peter Brandt, every time I hear about him, it's correct. Does that mean he's infallible? There's no possible way that he's 100% accurate. No way. But in the comment section, let me know how many times you've heard of him being right and what he's been wrong on. Moving on. The Fed announces over 1 trillion liquidity operation as bond market trends. So here's another example of things just people losing their minds. We just saw the picture of the grocery store. And throughout America, you're going to hear the same types of things going on. I mean, throughout the whole world, I'm sure people are stocking up all over the place. And now you got the Fed jumping in and going, you know what? Let's start printing money out of thin air. So the Federal Reserve has launched an over 1 trillion liquidity operation to support money markets amid the new coronavirus outbreak, and is now one step closer to resuming its crisis-era policy of purchasing assets in a process called quantitative easing. And they call this the QE, and other people will just call it quack economics because it doesn't make much sense. However, it seems to work pretty well for the Fed because they've been doing it for decades, so we'll see how that works out for this time. The liquidity is being offered through temporary repo agreements, operations based out of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. The repo market provides financing, listen to this, this makes me laugh, for banks and broker-dealers at the center of the economy, allowing the levered institutions to cover positions on their balance sheet by lending sums of cash to one another. Hey, Pete, I'm going to send you 50 million. That's great, Jim. I'm going to send you 120 million. Sure, let's just go back and forth. Let's balance out our ledgers and, however we do it. And no one will be the wiser. Sounds good. All right. See you at the golf club? Sounds good. What the hell is going on? That's a thing? That's a thing. So this is what is going on in our economic environment. And this is the type of stuff this is why we got into cryptocurrency in the first place. Because we can't keep doing this. This is just, it doesn't make much sense. I just don't see the whole purpose. I mean, I get it to ease fears and to cause or to inject liquidity, but how many times can you play the same hand, pop up the same card and be like, yeah, let's do this. This is going to work out before it just kind of the whole house of cards comes crumbling down. That's what happened in 2008, and it looks like we're heading that way in 2020. Only time will tell. On Thursday afternoon, the New York Fed announced that it would expand the scope of its repo agreement market operations to offer, get this, $500 billion with a B in 3-month operations, another $500 billion in 1-month operations, and at least $220 billion in operations with durations of 2 weeks or fewer. Chump change, which right now you're looking at in total cryptocurrency market cap of around 130 billion. Let that sink in. The Fed just prints it out of thin air. What's it backed by? Whatever. It's not finite. I mean, if you don't like that, Pete, we can just print some more. Sounds good. And off we go to the races. These changes are being made to address highly unusual disruptions in Treasury financing markets associated with the coronavirus outbreak, the New York Fed said. Prior to the announcement, the Fed had been buying $60 billion a month of short-term T-bills. Here's where it gets interesting. B of A, or Bank of America, Barclays, and Morgan Stanley are now among the Wall Street firms, with research teams projecting resumption of QA in the Fed's next meeting on March 17th and 18th. So it's a done deal. It's going to happen. So this is my thoughts. This is dangerous. And it's just, to me, it just seems like it's a problem when you can just print funny money out of thin air. Where does it stop? When does it stop? This is the same problem that happened in a lot of African countries. They had a problem with liquidity. They printed a ton of money, and you would see people rolling wheelbarrows of cash to buy bread. I don't know if that's where we're headed, but it doesn't seem like a great idea. Now, my question to everybody here is this. What would happen if we had a fixed, limited, and a transparent amount of currency, and we could not print anymore? So when these types of issues came up, we could not just inject liquidity. We could not just print money out of thin air. What we have is what we have, and that is it. And it's transparent for the world to see, really, essentially, if you wanted to, on a blockchain. If we could do that, what would happen? Let me know in the comments section below. Let's move on to the last story. This guy writes a lot of stories. Binance CEO responds to ChainLink, futures crashing over 99.9%. So real quick, as the crypto markets tumble in response to the coronavirus epidemic, I got to tell you, this video is definitely going to get banned from YouTube. I've said coronavirus about 1,000 times. One specific crypto dipped to record low on Binance, forcing the traders to blame the exchange for forced liquidations. The price of ChainLink USDT futures dropped to a fraction of a penny, forcing a number of liquidations along the way. Following a massive sell-off scare in the crypto field as Bitcoin dipped over 30% in a day. Yeah, so for all your friends who are in the stock market, like, man, like went down 6%, you're like, that's nothing, kid. You got to come on over here. Link dipped to record lows as the open interest on Link USDT contracts on Binance dropped by 57.8%. Again, people are losing their mind. The fundamentals are out the window. Up is down, black is white. Doesn't matter. We'll see what happens. This saw the community protest against Binance Exchange, claiming the move to a fraction of a penny was a malfunction or caused by incompetence. This is by a guy named Cooter. Dear CZ Binance, we were able to put buy orders only 5x below market price. Who was able to put this buy order at a fraction of a penny for Link? Yourself? And so essentially they're saying, what are you're buying all this up at a fraction of a penny? And then CZ Binance came out and said, hey man, we don't cancel orders. According to CZ Binance, the CEO of Binance, CZ, the exchange dealt prudently with the buy order set at a fraction of a penny. He wrote, just checked, the buy order was put in 2019, January 16th, the first day the Link USDT pair was added. We didn't have the price band restrictions back then. We don't cancel user orders. And then he just talks about how we just checked it and that's what it was. So apparently somebody put that order in a long time ago as maybe just as a smart move or a joke or whatever, but someone got that filled apparently. Furthermore, CZ said the exchange is now clear of the arbitrage opportunities that arose from the Link buy order, assuring the users that no other future pairs were affected. And it says here, even though the single market sell punched through the buy orders, no other pairs were affected. Futures and margin are not affected either. Arbitrage traders quickly filled the gap, and all the guys who had low buys made money. So congratulations, golf clap to you. So what's your thoughts? Is this Binance being a little shady, or was this incompetence, or just a little oversight? Let me know what you think. And that's it for today's video. Look, as a recap, the market's plunging. I definitely believe it's going to go lower. So make your plans accordingly. I don't know what you are going to do. There's many options out there for you, and I can't tell you what that is. For me, it's steady hands. I'm going to buy, I'm going to dollar cost average in as things go lower because it's a buying opportunity. And years from now, when I'm still doing these videos, well, I probably will be. I like these videos. I got other stuff to do, but I do like these videos. I can sit back and be like, you young kids, I remember back in March 2020 when things dropped by 50%. Would have made Satan crap his pants, but we still made it. Who knows? But I will say this, be careful. God, don't do margin trading like these guys. And yeah, make your plans. If you need cash, you got to have cash. But don't bet the farm and only invest what you can afford to lose. All right, thanks for sticking with me. That's it. Let's move into Scam of the Day. So real quick, this is exciting. Scam of the Day. If you're new to this channel, we do this to clean up the whole area. If you're new to cryptocurrency, you picked a hell of a day to pop in. So here's the thing. Everything's a scam. Everything you see on YouTube, that's promising the world is dumb, and you have to treat it as a scam until proven otherwise. So if you think Ripple is giving away free XRP, send them an email and say, hey, you're giving this for free? They're going to tell you no. Same thing with Binance or OKX or whoever else, doesn't matter. Second thing is we need to clean the space up. So first what you want to do is in the description of every one of my videos, there's going to be a section titled Scam of the Day. When you click on that, it's going to take you to this nice handy dandy little Google spreadsheet. And we've already removed a ton, and we just removed one of my least favorite scams today. I'm going to show you something, this last one here. This was a Ripple giveaway, apparently. And then the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, was on there. So we're going to check this out. Finally, this thing is finally gone. Finally. It's been here since February 29th. What's the date today? Who knows? The 12th. So you're looking at about 12 days of people getting scammed out of their money. I don't know who did, but 13 days or 12 days. And what's interesting about this, usually it'll say something like, this video goes against our terms and services. This video or this channel has been taken down for violation of guidelines. But this one's different. It says this video is no longer available due to a trademark claim by a third party. And who can make a trademark claim on a Ripple video? Ripple. So I am wondering if Ripple is actually getting into the game of shutting down scammers. And if they are, come see me. We need to talk, because it's not like YouTube's going to do it. YouTube amazingly can take down videos from legit YouTubers who are just trying to spread a good message. Yet they have a problem with taking down scams all over the place. Don't understand, especially ones that have been up for 2 weeks or more. Whatever. So if Ripple's doing that, it's fantastic. I'm very happy. That's encouraging. So let's take a look at the second one here. And here's how we know it's a scam. First of all, let's take a look in the comments section. Always funny. 6 subs. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's a red flag. Doesn't mean anything. What we're looking for is what I call an asymmetrical giveaway. So sometimes the asymmetrical giveaway is down here in the description. Sometimes it's in the video. And it's, god dang it, sorry. It says stuff like this. Hey, if you send us 0.02 Bitcoin, we'll give you 0.1 Bitcoin back. If you send us 1 Bitcoin, we'll give you 5 Bitcoin. If you send us 20 ETH, you'll get 100 ETH back. Nobody's doing that. No one likes to give free money. So this is a scam. So all we got to do, pretty simple, is we got to downvote it. I dislike this. We got to click on these 3 dots here, click on report, and let's say it's spam or misleading, and it is a scam. And we're going to click next. And we're going to say, hey, this is a scam. And click report. And we're done. So if you can do that, that'd be awesome. I really appreciate that. I'll get rid of, ooh, nice. I'll get rid of this one here, and then the rest are still open. And if you could do that, that'd be great. Get rid of these scammers, and that will do it for today's video. If you like these types of videos, there's going to be 2 more that are going to pop up on your left and right. Not sure what they are. They're curated for you. But that's it. I will see you on the next one.